Practical Guide for Pipeline Construction Inspection, published March 2006, SEPA Foundation, IGNA Foundation, Incorporated. Alright, 6. Pipeline Construction Inspector Fundamental Information. Items covered within the chapter with the relevant and all fee for the pipeline construction process. See Figure 1. Any such with the specific content without the chapter publications intent with the use of the conjunction with the information provided with the section. Additional information regarding pipeline construction process can be found with the IGNA Foundation publication building interstate with natural gas transmission lines or primer. Inspectors act as the own company with the authorized representative of the non-official manners, non-financial manners continuously observe the contracted prerogative of the monitors. All activities assigned with the areas to the accordance with the code of the and standard regulatory requirements of owner copy with the safety environmental requirements, drawing plans and specifications as well with the term of the construction contract with the agreement. Inspector may also be asked to assist otherwise specialized inspector welding inspector as directed. In addition to executing specific responsibility following chapters, inspector has the responsibility main identified with the table of one additional detail providing corresponding section. Or the major area of the inspector roles are authority 6.1, code of conduct 6.2, worksite and construction safety 6.3, quality deficiency nonconformity procedure 6.4, ensure environmental consideration 6.5, execution work 6.6, administrative contract obligation 6.7, the record management 6.8, the personal qualification certifications 6.9, equipment calibration 6.10, incident reporting 6.11, so survey, cleaning, grading, stockpiling, stringing, field bending, ditching, excavation, welding, coating, lowering, backfilling, cathodic protection, hydrostatic, cleanup, restoration, typical pipeline construction process phases. Authority. The inspector on site with the part of the large project team that is such for the inspector should you understand with the role of the established team with the command recognize the situation that may need to be escalated in the best interest of the owner of the company, important not only to the day-to-day operation but become the particular important with the handling of deficiencies non-conformity discussed later in this chapter particular. Role of the contractor or inspector will be established before the performance of testing of the measure to determine whether the work or any of the item comply with the specification permanent required of the contractor to perform test of the management unassisted. Inspector should clear the level of witnessing required by the making and sure that the equipment instructions instruments used with the contractor are correct with the properly calibrated with the contractor should aware of the inspector duties authority as defined in section 6.4 outline quality and deficiencies non-conformity procedures inspector stop work authority when imminent danger to the people of the environment. Code of conduct. Inspector represents the owner of the company and always should act ethically, professionally, objectively, consistently, honestly with the performing the required role responsibility. More specifically, actual ethic conducted required by the inspector governed by the owner of the company's code of conduct typically includes but not limited to items identified in table 2, typical code of construction. Code of consideration, description, behaving in an ethical manner, abide with the confidential agreement, no accepting of the gratitudes for the any time perceived after effecting judgment of the work being performed as an inspector. Gratitudes are authored and the information should be reported to the owner company. Endeavor to be in favor of the responsibility to check the tour of the working requirements at all times. Do not make assumptions for the result of the construction manager, chief inspector, or the designee if they are uncertain whether the requirements accepted. They reject the work performed with the contract based on the quality of the work. Comply with the relevant code, standard system, permits, contract agreements, specification procedures, approved drawings, line lists, documents of deviation when required, escalate in an appropriate manner for the approval of the professional approach to the work, be knowledgeable, understand the relevant parts of the construction process, be knowledgeable of understanding owner company standards and specification, be knowledgeable, understand relevant industry, government, and standard for the ensure all applicable permits required for the execute of the work and in place on site prior to commencing of the work, upholding the owner's company with the industry practice for the ensure safety, minimizing risk, avoid hazards of the workplace, uphold comply with the owner's company with the construction timelines, understand with the owner company construction schedule, costs, and components of the work, understand with the relative to the owner, other stakeholders in construction process, with the engage with the other expertise with the accordingly mote, accurate decision, being well informed, familiar with the contract documents or design requirements, arrive at the site before contractor's crew, remain until the crews leave with the site with the day, with the take of the break with the contractor crew, with the take of the break, remain on site during the construction activity required with the inspection, obtain all applicable documents before starting of the start of the inspection. If the question arises with the answer of the seek that cannot be answered, seek that those of the authority resolved. Be proactive with the problem, solve the related issue with the concern with the attention of the construction manager and chief inspector as designator. Positive image representation owner of the company. Behave with the courteous manner, conduct with oneself with the respectful manner of during the off time hour with the show of the respect through good driving habits, the right of way over the public or public roads. Check the work area with a good house, keeping tidiness, equipment, and consumables should be correctly handled and stored and maintained. Alright, 6.3, work site with the construction safety. One of the key roles inspectors do is to the owner of the company, ensuring the safety of the work environment of both the workers as well as the public. As such, for the all on-site inspectors have the stop work authority should have the safety situation arise. In addition, safety items detailed with the following chapter, inspectors should keep in mind with the items identified in the table 3, typical safety considerations, description in general, ensure the member of the activity crew understand the role, with the responsibility, respect for the safety execution of the work plan schedule, administer tailgate meetings of the prior to commencing the safety sensitive the work excavation requiring shoring, line excavation, hot cuts. Beware change of the work over the activities of the site of the condition of the not identified with the daily tailgate meeting along with any of the changes of the precaution needed to be taken as a result of the changes managed proactive approach participating in morning contractor safety meetings. Promote safety work, environmental continuous improvement through the communication project, inspection issues and solution emergency required with emergency medical services in place. Continue inspection monitor with the contractor workmanship, ensure the conformity of the owner company's health and safety inspection, occasion site specifically safety plans, monitor the compliance with the safety regulations, ensure emergency after hours contact information posted in site office provided that will provide contract to active contractors, instantly monitor the compliance with the personal protective equipment requirements, and ensure that the safety zones are in place to maintain with the power line act locations. Safety audits participate weekly with the project site specifically safety audit that provide the constructive and corrective action plan to communicate safety issues to the contractor, track and communicate safety site audit results to all project team members, and support a safe work environment of the owners. Company safety policies typically include but are not limited to those identified in Table 4. Table 4 lists the typical owner operator company safety policy practices and procedures. 8.2 safety work alone policy, while protection policy practices, restricted work areas, area policy, confined space entry practice, hearing conservation practice, manual lifting carrying practice, lockout tagout procedure, vehicle equipment safety practice, drug alcohol policy, job safety analysis, other only companies project specific requirements as applicable. 6.4 quality deficiency non-conformance perceived. The pipeline construction inspector with the place with the critical role managing quality of the work performed during the pipeline construction stuff. The inspector should reckon the inspection required with the monitoring of the regulation as well with the critical elements for the owner copy for the quality management system through those items specifically relevant to the inspector typically include with the items listed in Table 5. Table 5, typical owner company quality documentation, QMS manual, quality plan, inspection test plan, orientation approved with the current owner of the company, specific requirements, processes, procedures, contact documents, and drawings relevant to the role. As the inspector identified with the deviation, owner company specific escalation process will now be followed. 641, escalation process. Since the inspector monitored the pipeline construction activity, the operative of the safety stewardship of the environment as well as the compliance with the project specification protecting the regulation. Owner of the company will have the escalation process for the plan to deal with any of the identified deficiency, isolated deviation from the requirements of those that not impact the environmental structural integrity of the cost and schedule, but that may require of the elevation of the non-conformance of the recurring deficiency, major deviation regulation, owner company specifications such as the safety, environmental, strategic integrity, cost, and or schedule could be an impact that is identified non-conformance needed to be addressed through the corrective action. Specific process vary from the company to company. The inspector will familiarize himself accordingly. However, the escalation process will be typically structured as follows: verbal discussion, third-party representative, verbal warning, and a notification, verbal written warning, including signed documentation for stop work and potentially impact the health and safety of the environmental people working on the work site with the community and the land where the work is being conducted. 642, personal violation. Inspectors should continuously observe the report individuals' personal violations. Typically, example of person violations are included but not limited to items in Table 6. Table 6 shows the contact not wearing personal protective equipment, wearing incorrect attire, using headphones, radio, MP3 device while on duty, rough housing on the worksite, not wearing seatbelts, not respecting environmental historical resources, potential consequent overcome removal from the worker of the worksite, being under influence of drug and alcohol, harassment in the workplace, disregard health and safety environmental procedures, insubordinate, behaving in a manner that can cause serious harm and injury, the potential consequent permanent removal of the worker from the worksite. Your work site, not having the proper guards and shrouds, not maintaining safety zone, power line overhead. Alright. Not maintaining safety zone, power line overhead Overhead hazard location, non-functional backup alarm with the tracked equipment, the rubber tire with the vehicle, but not having the canopy with the clear operator vision and machinery, not having fire extinguisher required with the absorber the welding unit of the vehicle, with the heavy equipment, using defective tools, equipment leaking fluids, your consequence of the stop, even the remove of the vehicle, the equipment from the work site, in safe condition, practice to determine the owner, company with the construction manager, chief inspector of the designator of the, or the inspector resource of the construction activity non compliant with the applicable safety contract regulatory requirements, the work site and consequent construction shutdown. 6.5 environmental consideration. Owner of the company view the compliance with the applicable environmental regulation prior to already committed with the construction project facility with compliance with the environmental permit requirement with environmental compliance with the chair with the responsibility member of the project team that are responsible for ensuring construction activities are conducted in compliance with environmental permit requirements at all times. Typically, at least one individual will be assigned the role of environmental inspector. However, the inspector should be responsible for the stewardship of the environmental detail in Table 7. Table 7, the description and inform and instruct the employee with the contract environmental concern with a special condition regulations specifically to permit conditions applicable to the construction area, worksite area itself. Maintain contact environmental inspector. Ensure the disturbance, damage, environmental minimized, especially following uncontrolled fire, soil, water erosion, habitat damage, loss of the air, noise, or water pollution. Ensure construction entrances are maintained with the prevent tracking of the mud and debris on the public roadways in case of the unanticipated disturbance of the damage caused by the construction activity. Contact with the environmental inspector. Mitigate as soon as possible to restore the affected area of the original condition extent with the possible man with a satisfactory owner of the company land, owner of the landholder, regulator, authorities. Ensure the equipment is not fuel for service with a specified distance of the water bodies. Ensure the hazard materials are stored within specified distances of the water bodies. Ensure all construction debris and garbage collected for the disposal to an approved facility off the right of way. Observe the breeding for peace and feeding on the harassing livestock of the wildlife. If observed, the report incident immediately with the construction manager and chief of the inspector. Report wildlife deaths and nuisance animals to environmental inspector. Observe the fire possession while on and off of the right of way, and observe the report the incident immediately with the construction manager, chief and inspector designate. Observe the possession of the pets while on the right of way. If observe the report incident immediately with the construction chief and inspector. Ensure specified vehicles have the minimum specified amount of the commercial submarine material to address the spills of both water and land. Ensure construction activities avoid interference with the normal flow of the water in natural and man-made water courses. Use contract personnel to have the read and understand the environmental specification commitments. Ensure all environmental sensitive materials properly disposed of. Ensure fire protection, firefighting plans are updated, include details, monitoring, prevention, and response concern. Your right-of-way preparation, manpower, equipment, the training, and the personnel of the emergency procedure. 6.6. Execution of work. The inspector act with the owner of the company authorized representative of the monitoring of the work of the conformance with the owner of the company's specification critical for the meeting of the safety environmental expectation for the critical for the environmental quality of the construction, which is necessary for the long-term safety of the environmental with the cost effectiveness of the pipeline asset. Best practice is relevant with each of the phase of the construction is identified with the following chapter with significant detail how the additional activities of the inspector undertake include disseminating, explaining with the owner of the company specification project with specific documentation and the other inspectors where required if the key of the latest construction drawing the specification is utilized sync planning organization of all the construction activities including inspection survey radiographic duties of the material available to tie in for the service disruption commissioning and startup. Maintain lines of the communication key stockholders appropriately include but not limited to construction manager, chief inspector for the contractor, subcontractor, the land agent, third party owner, representative where applicable, pipeline system operational personnel, project engineers. Follow site specific communication protocol as defined in the project. 6.7. Administrative contractual obligation. The part of the inspector role will understand the contractual obligation for the contractor carrying out the construction activity the operation according to the inspector role. Administration of the contract obligation summarized in Table 8 may include the new understanding with the type of any agreements contract issued applied with the owner of the company is detailed in Type 9. Type 8 with the inspector Table 9. Table 8 inspector role administrator of the contractual agreement is maintain coordinate with the communicate progress with the schedule with the update with the PERC owner company requirements the ensure of the company agreements based on the line for it is are executed verify approve the forward contract of work out of the material on a daily basis with the construction manager chief inspector designee perform materials and make material take off of the certain step all the material obtain all the approval of the construction manager chief inspector prior to commencing of any of the work extra ensure only the most current revisions of the issue with the construction drawings approved with the contract documents the specification rep for the construction. Ensure all proposed deviations, specification, design, change of the material substitution are discussed or approved with the construction manager, chief inspector prior to proceeding the work. Commencing communication lesson learned, foster environmental continuous and improvement, include participating post-job review meetings. All right, Table 9. The typical approval of the contracts issued apply for owner of the company agreements, railroad crossing agreement, the agreements of the need to cover any of the operating with the abandoned railroad tracks along with the proposed pipeline route, pipeline crossing agreement, the agreements of the need to cover the existing operating with abandoned the on-ground, above-ground pipelines across along proposed pipeline route, utility crossing agreement, the need to cross any of the operating abandoned on-ground utilities and or other electrical along proposed pipeline route, pipeline power line crossing agreement, the need to cross overhead power line to cross along proposed pipeline route, roadway use agreement, the needs to use the applicable to public roadways during construction of the access of the pipeline construction site, road crossing agreement that require the construct pipeline under public or private road during the construction along with the proposed pipeline route, land use agreement, the land use of the agreement that may include the provision pipeline lease agreement, the pipeline installation lease agreement, pipe stockpile site, campsite, approved working hours, permits, regulatory jurisdiction. In some cases, these words were to be obtained by the contractor, which may include work permits on the crown of the public land, work permits on the private land, fencing for enclosure permits, encroachment permits, contracts for the pipeline staff for the construction, survey, emergency medical, for the cleaning and the grading of the pipeline facility, the integrity of the construction activity, non-destructive examination, caliper pigging, fabrication, compaction, testing, trenchless crossing, contracts associated with the small miscellaneous reclamation activities. 6.8. Record management. The critical element of the inspector role of the support of the owner of the company record keeping, with the critical of the long-term management of the pipeline. For the example, the detail captured during the construction phases can only be the critical piece of the information maintaining structural integrity of the pipeline with the future with a specific record with the keeping the requirements identified with each of the chapter general requirements listed in Table 10. When record keeping is incomplete with the poor lacking entirely with the construction inspector duties are deemed to be incomplete. Type 10, Table 10, typical activities associated with the supporting record management. Journal, ensure the timely completion of the submission of all record documents. Ensure all forms, reports, and submitted data are as complete as accurate as possible. Record as is built information pertaining to the construction progress. Provide information on the ongoing basis of the will, if the closing contractor claims. When the contractor deficiency, non-conformance, if they have identified, ensure the continuous monitoring documentation followed with the owner company with agreed actions until closed. Continually coordinate with the project data collection. Provide with the reports of the construction manager, the chief inspector designated as per specific timelines. Continually gather data to the post-construction evaluation lessons learned, document continually to review base estimates, schedule the actual work performed, provided feedback. Our complete production related information inspection form of the reports, note that the equipment and consumable use of the contractor present on site. Confirm the near-miss reports are complete with the submit with the construction manager for the chief inspector for the designee. Confirm the incident reports are complete and submit with the construction manager, chief inspector, or designee. The other formal approval written agreement with the construction manager, chief examiner, the designee prior to the commencing of any extra work activities. Daily complete inspection reports, material of the workmanship area of the survey station inspected. Complete construction progress reports, material workmanship areas inspected. Record links, location works complete with the daily basis. Weekly, confirm weekly progress of the reports that include identification potential conflict schedule issue with as well for the safety, environmental progress with the quality and control issues. Maintain, contain, coordinate with the communicating weekly progress schedule for the survey activities, construction manager, chief inspector designate. Project end, with the prepare the end of the project report if required by the owner of the company. Identify lessons learned, in particular the sessions of the support lessons learned. Alright, 6.9, personal qualification certification. Conform with the qualification individual allow for the site with an important element to ensure the safety of the construction operation, to ensure the work meets the acceptable level of quality. For example, the welding operation has specific requirements of qualification welder work that they undertake. With these personal qualifications certifications are identified with the following chapters relevant completed prior to the construction and left the on-site with the chain with the qualification and certifications should also comply with the applicable regulatory requirements of owner company for the operative qualification plans. 6.10, equipment calibration. Other activities during pipeline construction require with specialized equipment for the measurement, for example, the jeeping of the holidaying equipment used to detect with the coating of the film with the discontinuing that may compromise the pipe integrity. The critical part to ensure long-time safety of the pipeline situation. The inspector will ensure that the only properly calibrated test equipment is used on site and supporting calibration records are available. When required, inspectors conform with the contractor operators are properly trained and knowledgeable with the application and operation technique of the equipment and material in Section 6.9. 611. Incident reporting. Should the incident occur, the inspector is expected to assist the owner of the company with the necessary local authorities conducting the formal objective of the incident of the report. In particular, the inspector should keep in mind with the items identified in Table 11. Alright, Table 11. Typical incident or conservation. Take immediate action. Ensure the injuries that are intended to do an emergency services are contacted. Freeze for the work site if required with the based on the construction manager, chief inspector for the authority. 6-1. Immediate report all injury of the vehicle incident for the near miss for the unsafe condition for the construction manager, chief inspector, and board designee. Ensure the site evidence preserve the pictures are taken, documentation, witness statement that are gathered, retained as soon as practical to participate incident investigation as required. If the site shut down occur, the obtained authorization owner of the company work site can be returned to service. Alright, references foundational information. Note the use of the reference information provided in Table 12 within the intent of the guide only with list of the non-exhaustive of the document, the nature of the update with the frequently if the remains responsible to the user and ensure the correct and most current documents are referenced as appropriate. Table 12 list of the references is fundamental. API recommended process 1169 new pipeline construction, API specification Q1, quality management systems, NA effective sheet, API 1169 examination publication effective sheet, American Society of Mechanical Engineers, B31.4 and B38, pipeline transportation system, liquids and slurries, gas stream distribution piping system, Canadian federal regulation not accessible, not applicable, Canadian Standard Association CSA Z662, Oil and Gas Pipeline System, Code Regulation Title 29, Part 172, has a material table Title 29, Code Regulation 1910, Occupational Safety Hazards 29, Part 1926, Safety Health Regulation Construction, Title 33, CFR 3021, Permanent Dam Sites and Applicable Waters in the United States, Title 40, CFR Part 300, National Oil Hazardous Substance Pollution Contingency, Title 49, Part 192, Transportation, Natural, Other Gas Pipeline Minimum Federal Safety Standards, Title 49, Part 195, Transportation Hazard Liquid by Pipeline, Title 50, CFR Part 21, Regulation, Migratory Bird Permits, Federal Energy Regulation Commission, Title 18 CFR 380, 12.1, Regulation Upland Erosion Control Revegetation Maintenance Plan, Title 18 Code Regulation 380.12D, Wetland Water Body Construction Mitigation Procedure, Interstate National Gas Line Pipeline Association, Save Every Step of the Way, Report 2013-01, Building Interstate Natural Gas Line Transmission Pipeline, not acceptable, National Energy Board, OPR 99 Regulation, Canadian Onshore Pipeline Regulation, United States Code 16, Title 16, U.S. Code, Chapter 35, Endangered Species, Title 33, U.S. Standard Code, Chapter 9, Problem Protection, Navigable Waters and Harbor River Improvement General, or Chapter 7, Survey.